I remember myself leaving the American South with a grand exit. It's said that knowledge is power, and imagination more important than knowledge. In the South of the 1940s, style was more important than both. So I like to imagine having left with great style. I believe it was T.S. Eliot who said that home is where we start from. I don't know that I would have ever had the courage to leave the South. My home, my family, if life had allowed me the comfort to stay.
Where will you go?
It's not so much where you go or what you do, as long as you do it with style. Maybe it's true that what we call a catastrophe is simply an opportunity for us to pursue our real calling. In our end is our beginning, so to speak. My end, or beginning, began with the arrival of my aunt, Ducey Bates, for my parents' 40th wedding anniversary. Like most Southern relatives, Ducey considered a short visit anything less than a year.
Has over 20 cabs in his company in Jackson. See? Here's a brochure.
Hey, I'm trying to drive here.
Well, you probably don't know how to read anyway. Here I have trusted my life to an illiterate.
Ma'am?
I would think that with this being the only cab in Somerville, Mississippi, you'd be grateful for any business you could get. 50 cents is my final offer. Take it or leave it.
I'll leave it.
You're doing? I know what you want. You planned this to get me out here all alone, to violate me. Desirable woman isn't safe anywhere anymore. Go ahead, then. Do it.
Do what?
You know. Take me.
Ma'am, I think you got the wrong idea.
Take me!
I'm a married man with 2 kids.
Well, I have never been so morally offended in all my life. Did you really think I'd give up this easily? Take this, you seducer of women, you rapist! That'll teach him to mess with Ducey Bates.
Pagan, Ducey's waddling her way toward the house. Here you go, Colin, just the way you like it. Were you saying something to me?
Your sister-in-law is waddling her way up the lawn.
Well, why didn't you help her?
I like watching her. She looks sort of like one of those National Geographic walruses in Alaska during mating time.
Hold on, my key.
How two grown women can positively ignore an invited house guest is beyond me.
I guess I was wrong, Pagan. She did make it after all.
Has this old maiden niece of yours been talking about me again?
I think that Cola
I
felt that...
do not believe this. First, you leave me at the bus stop to be abused by vagrants, and now you're spreading untrue and vicious gossip about me all over this one-cab town.
Do see?
I can assure you, I did not travel 400 miles to be treated without a shred of human decency. I shall be leaving on the next bus back to Jackson.
The Memphis commercial papers are a front-page story on Coughlin and Pagan's 40th anniversary celebration. And Dixon Tuckahoe says that we are going to have the biggest fireworks display this county's ever had.
Maybe I will decide to stay. After all, it would mean so much to Coughlin.
What happened to Bobby?
He fell. He's inside.
What happened to your face?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Clay.
What happened? He fell. When? Last week.
Am I gonna be all right, Mr. Clay?
I don't know, Bobby.
Clay.
Well, I don't know. Go outside, Tiger.
Come on out with me.
I'll be out. Go on. Bobby gets hurt an awful lot.
Kids get into things.
Why'd you beat him?
He fell.
Dad, Bobby didn't...
Shut up! I said shut up!
See how you like it.
You ain't no Trubane.
I am. You better hope that boy lives.
It was mysterious on that bus. No one spoke a word the whole time.
Do see, you have been spared.
I have.
You have. If I believed in coincidences, I'd say we had one. I picked up one of those movie magazines, you know, the tabloid kind. It has a whole article about a lady who's been kidnapped by space aliens while riding on a bus. She knew something was up when she was the only one who spoke a word the entire trip.
No.
Yep, listen. All of a sudden, the bus became deathly quiet. Then they turned toward me, slowly, grinning with these horrible grins. Pools of saliva, just pools of saliva dripping down their chins as their teeth transformed into saber-like fangs. Then their eyes bugged out like red-hot pokers burning into the marrow of my soul. Anyhow, the whole bus just up and turned into a bona fide flying saucer and flew straight up into the air. And you know what those aliens did?
Tell me. Tell me.
Well, I don't know about that, but she never was the same.
You're right. I have been spared.
Mercifully spared.
Everyone knows that all those magazines print is trash and lies.
Printing lies would be downright unconstitutional.
Yep. Unconstitutional.
Well, well, well. I thought I heard the cheep, cheep, cheep of little hens. Cole, I don't know why you find it necessary to bring in an outside account of inhuman life forms, while we have enough of that right here in our own hometown. Hello, Deucey.
Well, I never.
No? How is Clarence? Still cruising the streets of Jackson, I suppose.
I do not have to sit here and listen to this.
No, you don't. However, it would be terribly rude of you to leave after such a short visit.
I do not know how you had two daughters as completely different as Tigrit and sister.
Variety's the spice of life, Ducey. Spice of life.
They say in Jackson the Tigret's so religious because of all that time she spent closed up with that dead brother of hers.
Ducey.
Well, I don't say it, they do. It seems to me that having her twin brother born dead would have some unusual side effects.
We've heard enough on this subject today or any other day, Ducey.
Since no one here seems to believe in freedom of speech, I plan to simply button my mouth shut for the duration of this visit.
Tragic.
You're not pushing yourself too hard, are you?
I'm fine, Mama. You worry too much.
Well, if it isn't the Lone Ranger and Tonto.
So, what did you and Daddy kill today? Small, unattended children?
Rabbit.
Why, I bet that little darling looked perfectly marvelous stuffed over the fireplace.
It's not for stuffing, it's for eating. Won't you be a good girl and take this inside for cleaning?
I ceased to be a good girl a very long time ago.
I cannot believe you have not noticed your own sister sitting here coughing, Trubane, in my new dress and everything.
I was saving the best for last. Glad you're here, Ducey. This puts the whole family together. I have an announcement to make.
I love announcements.
Since Clay here seems bound and determined to keep company with a certain member of our family, he's agreed to take those back 100 acres off my hands and see what he can do with them.
I think this is something that we should discuss in more detail, Coffin.
Nothing to discuss, Peg. I transferred the land this morning. All that's left is for Clay to sign it.
Perhaps you've forgotten, Daddy, but Grandmother gave that land to me.
What's a woman going to do with land?
I've made plans.
Well, then change them.
Welcome to the family, Clay.
But don't forget, we eat our young.
May I speak with you, Coffin?
Certainly, darling.
Who would have thought you'd have come this far? I mean, with your parents being who they were and all. I never would have thought you could have made your way into this family.
I didn't make my way into anything. And I don't see how my parents have anything to do with my life now, Mrs. Bates.
Oh, they do. It's all in the blood.
How dare you give him that land without my approval?
If I'd asked you, what would you have said?
You know what I would have said.
That's why I didn't ask.
He will not be a part of this family.
And I say he will, so you'd better get used to it.
And you always get what you want, don't you, Coffin?
I don't play to lose.
Not as long as there's money involved. I don't want that boy hurt. If you do this, he'll think he's one of us.
What's the matter, Peg? His blood not blue enough for you?
Oh, blood is the last topic we need to cover.
I don't know why blood should bother you. You've certainly drawn enough of mine over the last 40 years.
Really, Coffin? I always thought that I was the only one who bled. You've gotten everything you wanted from this marriage. My money, my home, and now you've even bought yourself a son. Ha!
That's an interesting point of view, if you'll excuse me.
Wait, I never.
Ducey. Ducey, don't you think you could have been a little more tactful?
What can you expect from someone who lived half his life as a Yankee? Peggy made that Amos boy even worse ever since she up and paid for him to go to that fancy Yale seminary.
Seminary.
Oh, same difference. Rude. Positively rude.
Come on, Ducey. It's almost time for the shadow.
Oh, I do love the shadow.
A toast, my dear. To 40 years of the purest hell anyone's ever known.
To hell.
It's war, then?
Armageddon.
You know I don't like for anyone to hear me play.
Well, I just thought you might have something to say after Coffin's announcement.
Oh, you mean Daddy King's little attack of generosity?
His generosity may have just cost us a fortune. No land, no contract.
Maybe so, maybe not. There's another way.
What?
The Slater tract. That land's right next to yours. It'll do just as well.
Coffin's bidding on that.
Do I detect fear in that little voice of yours?
Come on, sister. Coffin wants that land.
Well, so do I. He has more than enough playthings. It's my turn. Besides, I don't do poor well. Anyway, I offer more fringe benefits. We're gonna bid on that Slater tract tomorrow, do you understand?
I can't bid against Coffin.
You'll sleep with his daughter and cheat him in business as long as he doesn't find out. You are such a coward. As usual, I have to do it myself.
Come on, sister. You don't have the money. Coffin's won. Be satisfied with what we've got.
We don't have anything. You have the wife and the fortune. So why don't you just run along, lover dearest, crawl back into your hole. Sister's got plans to make. You're dismissed. You even make touching Tuckahoe bearable. I disgust myself.
Lucy just likes to talk. She forgets that somebody's got to listen.
What if she's right? You think if Bobby were a Trubane, he'd be dying out in that field house?
We can't save the world, Clay. I know. I've tried. I used to spend hours looking in the mirror, trying to figure out exactly what it was that I was doing wrong. Maybe if I were taller.
It's not you, Tigrett. I can't love you the way you need.
Then love me the way you can.
You serve God and leave the rest of us to live life. Real life. Not some Bible story.
You're gonna wake up one day, and you will have missed your whole life by doing nothing but fighting God and hating somebody that lived his life hating somebody else.
I didn't ask to be the way I am. How do you know God even exists?
Because I need somebody to love me and never leave. A need for there to be God, Clay. A need for there to be...
Tigrett, why can't you accept that happy endings are only in Bible stories?
No. And my end is my beginning. It's all I've got. I've got to believe.
Poor Tigrett. She never did look at things realistically. But then, reality is too difficult, isn't it?
Don't you think that code is a bit melodramatic?
My life is melodrama, Clay.
You always touch what doesn't belong to you.
Possession is 9/10 of the law. You should know that, now that you possess my land.
Forget it. It's mine, sister.
Well, it's yours. For now. That's Andromeda. She's chained to a rock, waiting to be eaten alive by vultures. They say Perseus comes along and saves her just in time. We both know that only happens in make-believe and Bible stories. Still read the Bible, Clay?
No.
Oh, but you should. It's an absolutely delightful book. It's full of sex and lust and murder. Well, I believe that God is the most useful device ever invented. I don't know what I'd do without him.
What would you know about God?
See that? There are two basic mistakes people make regarding religion. You have too much God or too little. The trick is to have just enough to please, but not enough to threaten.
Get on with it, sister.
Oh, Clay, you must allow Southern rhetoric to make its way, to weave. See, it's not so much what's in the tale as how it's told. You're not going to win, Clay. Coffin's just going to use you and push you away.
I'll take my chance.
Such a waste, you know. You being such a pretty thing and can't touch you anymore. I love the way alcohol feels when it slides down my throat. Just twisting its way down until I feel like I can do anything. Anything. Together, Clay, we can beat him.
No.
Ah!
Get out of my way, Cola. There's a whole bunch of underwear in there with my name on it.
Oh, Doocy, it's not going anywhere.
I want some pink ones with ruffles and a rose right here on my thigh.
There's a scary thought.
Get out of my way. I'm in a shopping frenzy and there ain't nobody gonna stop me.
Oh, you ain't ever touching me again, college boy!
Not the face. Got a party to go to.
Stop! Well, look who's here. What you gonna do, pray us to death?
Will there be anything else?
Ma, Bigsley, please remove your hand from inside my basket.
Cola McGee, as the new floor manager here at Spraken's Discount Emporium, it's my duty to make certain that all of our rules are strictly enforced. You do realize you're standing in the special express aisle?
I realize that. That's why I'm standing in it.
8 items is the limit in this lane.
I know that. I have only 8 items.
It's typical of a criminal mind to delude itself. If you only have 8 items, then what is this?
It's a box of candy.
It's a sampler, which contains 41 assorted individual candies.
You've gone crazy, you power-hungry, turnip-headed troll. Everyone knows the sampler is only 1 item.
You're just jealous because Morgan Calloway never cared a lick about you.
Morgan Calloway hasn't had the sense to get out of the rain since somebody put that marijuana in his iced tea at the Moose Lodge picnic.
It's just common knowledge that you're nothing more than an old maid ever since Morgan left you at the altar for me 10 years ago.
If you're so smart, why hasn't he married you?
I'm through discussing this with an old maid criminal. Now give me that box of candy.
This box here?
Give it to me now, Cola McGee.
Ah!
I thought you were against violence.
The kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and violent men or women
take it by force. Matthew 11:12.
This is unbelievable. You're right, Hagen. I thought Cola would have whipped her long before now. Here, hold this.
Can't you stop this?
Mrs. Trubane, I am not a man given to violent caprice. I would never engage in such a row. Please.
The last piece up will be the Slater track. I'll entertain an opening bid of $5,000. Do I hear 5,000? 5,000. Do I hear 55? 55. There in the back. Do I hear 6,000? Do I hear 65? Do I hear 7,000? 75. Do I hear 75? 75. Do I hear 8? 8. Do I hear 85? 85. Do I hear 9? 9,000. 9,000. Do I hear 95? 95 for this beautiful piece of property. 9,000 going once. 9,000 going twice.
$10,000.
$10,000. Do I hear 11?
11,000.
11,500.
12,000.
$12,500.
13,000.
13,500.
14,000.
$15,000.
$25,000.
$25,000 going, sold to Mr. Coffin Trubane for the remarkable price of $25,000. That ends the auction. Buyers, please go to the tables.
Anything for the look on her face right before it hit her, not anything.
Who does that Molly Beasley think she is anyway? Tell me I'm an old maid. I showed her.
I'm the one that took most abuse. Just look at my dress. It looks just like shrapnel in the arm.
Lucy Bates, I cannot believe that you would stand there and attempt to take credit for something which is clearly my victory.
Look, Cola. Those two men. They're in our truck. I told you this town was full of rapists and muggers. All right. Stand back. All right, both of you, put your hands up in the air and get out of my truck. I know about you. Don't you even think about getting your hands on me. This town is full of nothing but rapists and muggers. Listen, I can shoot a nut off a squirrel's butt, so get out of my truck now. That'll teach him to mess with Lucy Bates.
What are you two doing now?
Why, Pagan, we just saved this truck from would-be thieves and possible rapists.
This is not our truck.
I told you, Cola.
Never in my life been so embarrassed. I find it hard to believe that two grown women could behave like such idiots in a public place.
Pagan.
I don't want to hear another word. I have been positively, absolutely, publicly humiliated.
Well, I never.
I feel certain that I'm going to be sick.
Don't even start with me, Constance McGee. I don't have 1 ounce of sympathy.
I'm going to be sick right here on the floor. I just know it.
Here, use this.
No, that has my new silk underwear. You can make it to the bathroom.
No, I'm be sick right here. Right now.
My underwear.
Oh, Lucy, quit being so selfish.
I can assure you I did not travel over 1,000 miles to have this woman throw up on my underwear.
Oh, stop whining, Lucy. I've had all I'm going to take from everyone today.
I can assure you I will be on the first bus back to Jackson Monday morning. I'm not going to stay where I'm not wanted. You can believe me, it'll be a long time before I darken this doorway again. Excuse me.
I thought you'd never get home. I ran out of cigarettes 2 hours ago.
I thought I didn't know better. I think you were addicted to nicotine, sister.
Oh, I am. I am absolutely addicted. Why, I think that I would sell this entire family into white slavery for just one of these.
Doesn't seem healthy, if you ask me.
I wouldn't dream of asking you, Peggin. I wouldn't dream of it.
What is going on down here?
I feel like I have just been run over by a train.
It seemed like it was going to be such a nice day. But your cousin here likes to complicate matters.
Let me tell you, you'll just make it one-sided. Besides, I was one who was attacked.
Attacked?
Attacked.
Attacked?
Attacked.
Relatives often help us remember our roots. For me, those roots are tied deeply to the land. But I still wonder if I didn't pay too large a price in my fight for it.
Ethan. Oh, God, Ethan. Not again.
So the unvanquished warrior returns to his loving home.
Peg and I want to apologize for a lot of things.
You got what you wanted. You beat us.
You didn't have any use for that land.
It's war, Coffin, remember? War. It's been a long day. I think I'll go to bed. I'll wait up for you.
If I didn't know you better, Coffin, I'd think I just heard an attempt at repentance.
You don't know me at all. Why don't you just take one of your lovers, get married, and leave?
Because, Coffin, you and Mother have provided such a picture-perfect ideal of matrimony, I just don't think I could live up to it.
You enjoy causing pain, don't you?
I've lived so long with pain, I don't know how to survive without it.
God, I failed with you. And Pagan. At least I've got Tigrid. And Clay?
You bought him with something that was mine.
At least he's someone I can be proud of.
Are you sure?
Sure of what?
That Clay and I are so different.
Completely.
Why don't you go to the guest house and see just what your heir apparent is up to?
I'm not playing any of your games, sister.
Are you afraid of the games, Coffin, or the truth? You're a coward.
There's nothing to see.
Then take the blinders off and look.
God, you're sickening.
A title in which I take immeasurable pride.
I don't care if you all guess you're a cheater.
I did not travel 1,500 miles to be insulted by somebody like you.
Well, we'll just have to let Sister decide. When I turn my back to deposit Deuce's $50 into the bank for her to get out of jail, she's always in jail. I only took the job of banker because Deuce can't count to 10 without missing 9.
Well, now that's a bold-faced lie.
Is not. Well, When I turned my back, she went and stole all my hotels off Baltic Avenue.
Now listen here, Miss High and Mighty.
Tragic.
Coffin? Coffin? I don't understand. Don't leave. Please, don't leave.
I expect you at the party tomorrow for Tigrit. After that, I want you out of here.
Beautiful. Well, we all want to look special tonight. I mean, after all, you and Coffin's wedding is something to celebrate.
Congratulations, Mama. 40 years is quite an accomplishment. I think tonight is going to be something special.
Who knows? Maybe something really eventful will occur after all. The stream of events precipitated by the party were more eventful than even I could have imagined. We had all overplayed our hands.
Come on, Evelyn, we should be getting inside.
Oh, I guess we should.
Are you coming, Clay?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be in a minute.
It was lovely to talk to you. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Oh, Isabella, have you seen Clay?
No, Tigrit, I haven't.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice time. Hello, Mrs. Rainey. Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Carter. How is Jim?
Oh, well, you know, Tigrit, she's in Europe. Didn't you have a little overseas adventure of your own? Working with cannibals or something?
I was a missionary.
Hardly seems fitting for a young lady of society. But then again, the Trubanes have never been, shall we say, socially well-adjusted.
I suppose you're right, Mrs. Carter. Some of us are socially adjusted and others are adjusted socially. Tell Joan I said hi.
Who is that, Evelyn?
That, my nephew, is Sister Trubane, and I understand she's quite a handful.
Well, I think I'd like to find out. Would you excuse me? You made quite an entrance.
I always do. And you lack manners. Do you always give away compliments without knowing your victim's name?
Victim, that's an interesting choice of words. And I know who you are, Miss Trubane. I'm Andrew Steffens from Biloxi. Evelyn Tuckahoe's nephew, if you know the Tuckahoe family.
Oh, I'm quite familiar with the entire Tuckahoe family. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some social obligations to fulfill.
I think we should talk later. If you're not too busy, that is.
Well, you're very fortunate, Mr. Steffens. You happen to have caught me on a night when I just might make some time.
You could use the excuse that you were waiting for the fireworks, but we both know they don't start for another hour.
That dress is beautiful. I haven't seen that before.
I know that routine, Clay Amos. You trade a compliment for forgiveness. It's new. Mama got it from me in Memphis last month. You and Daddy had a fight, didn't you?
I don't know if that's the right word for it.
1 minute it's a knockdown, drag-out boxing match, and the next you're bosom buddies. You'll make up soon enough.
If you
you really knew me, you wouldn't care the way you do.
I do know you, Clay Amos, better than you think. And I am decidedly more liberal than you know. Certainly as much as being a spoiled, rich Southern girl allows me the opportunity. And you are making me miss a perfectly good party.
But I've got to tell you this.
Whatever you have to say can wait till after the play.
Good, let's go inside.
You upset my daughter. Understand me, boy?
Oh, I went down and signed the deed today. Seems you forgot to tell your lawyer about our little misunderstanding. But don't worry. You can have it back for the right price. Excuse us.
You better come inside and play the host.
Be in a minute.
Trouble in paradise, dearest.
Careful, your fangs are showing.
I noticed you two seem to be having much too good of a time, so I thought that I would come over here and remedy that. Tiger, would you mind if I stole Clay away from you for a moment?
I mind.
Oh, Clay, she's not gonna bite you.
That's what you think.
Oh, go on. Anyway, I need to check on some things in the kitchen. You two be nice.
So, what do you and Daddy plan to do with your partnership now?
There's not going to be any partnership, sister, as I'm sure you're well aware.
Really? So the old guy really went through with it. I didn't think he'd have the guts. I guess, you and Ethan were just a little too friendly for him. It's a pity. After all, boys will be boys.
You told him to come to the guest house.
I did not tell him anything. He saw plenty.
You're going to pay for this, sister, in a big way.
Oh, Clay, I love it when you're so manly.
Thinking of getting your hooks into Andrew?
Oh, you know him? Guess there's no use in me getting acquainted with him then.
Sadly enough, I think he might be taken in by your many charms.
Oh, good. Hold this. So what do you do? Professionally, I mean.
Several things. Mainly, I work for the governor.
Don't tell me you're a politician. Why, the only thing more perverse would be for you to be a minister.
I'm not a politician. I just work with the governor to make sure that my family's interests are well represented. And religion is for old women and children.
Well, aren't you afraid God's gonna strike you dead with an attitude like that?
God doesn't worry me. It's men you've got to watch out for and beautiful, curious women.
Are you rich, Mr. Steffens? I mean, rich enough to afford the opportunity to believe in God when you find it convenient?
Well, we've got 29,000 acres of prettiest farmland this side of Mississippi. Yep, I'd say we're rich. But I thought someone like you, a Trubane, that is, would find it rather gauche to discuss money.
Money's never gauche. Only not having it is. I think it's time to go inside. Mom and Daddy are about to be rewarded for 40 years of married bliss.
I'd like to see you again. After the party, I mean.
I have some unfinished business to take care of. Depending on that, I just might be available.
To see me again?
Yes, Mr. 29,000 acres.
Enjoying that, Deucey?
This is delicious. What is it?
Something Tiger got in Africa. Gorilla brains, I think. Ew.
Things get too stuffy for you in there?
I can't stand speeches, particularly if I have to make them.
It might help if you could read them. The music reminds me of the last time we were at the Peabody. Do you remember that, Mr. Tuckahoe? Especially what came later?
For God's sake, sister, somebody might hear you.
For God's sake. This house is full to the attic with religion. Why is it every time somebody wants something, it's for God's sake?
You like that cigarette case, don't you?
Why, yes, I do. Occasionally you shock me with an attack of good taste in your gifts. So, Mr. Fireworks King, now you lost the land, but you still might be able to make a deal, if you're smart enough.
You mean if I listen to you?
Well, that would certainly increase your chances.
Well, what would you say if I'd already made a deal without you?
Well, Tuckahoe, I love it when you think it's so uncharacteristic. Besides, we both know Evelyn would never let that much money out of her sight.
I can convince her to let me spend that money my way.
How could you have known when you married her, at least married her money, that she would have hung on for so long? They just don't make illnesses the way they used to, do they?
You are so cold-blooded.
Why, Mr. Tuckahoe, I can remember a time when you thought I was warm, maybe even hot. So what are you going to do in all those long nights, huh? Maybe you can just lay back and think about Sister. No more free samples. You've reached the end of the road, and it ends right here.
Come on, sister. You always liked a good deal. Make a deal with me.
Marry me, then.
Come on, sister, be reasonable.
I am being reasonable and serious, dead serious.
Why would you possibly want to get married?
Who knows? Maybe I want to put my multiple fornications under the guise of matrimony. Perhaps I am getting religion. It doesn't matter. The point is you have to choose tonight, right now.
Well, you're asking too much this time, sister. Too much. Besides, you should know better than to ask full price for used merchandise.
Mr. Firecracker King, you have just made a grievous error. I mean, you of all people should know that when you play with fire, you get burned.
Oh! Oh, I don't know what you've done, sister, but Coffin was willing to make me a mighty sweet deal to make sure you don't get anything. I can't wait to see him kick you out of this house. And you got no place else to go.
Sister, can I get you anything? A cold rag?
I'm just fine. I'm all right. Tiger, did you ever wish that you just had wings so that you could just fly away and start over? I have to end this.
And your end is your beginning.
I guess we can all attest to how difficult it is to keep a marriage together in this day and age. And anyone who knows me knows that I can't take responsibility for it. So I'd like to thank the woman who's responsible for this little piece of heaven, Pagan.
Coffin, it's reassuring to know how much you really care.
So, did you resolve your business satisfactorily?
It's not so much in how a situation turns out as what you make of it. So, when will I get to see those 29,000 acres?
Anytime you like. In fact, we could start right now.
You're taking an awful lot for granted, Mr. Steffens.
From what I understand, I'm not taking anything which you don't give away regularly. Oh, I have been for years. It doesn't wash away, does it? I wouldn't expect a better offer to come around, because from what I hear, your offers are all but up.
Did you and Andrew have a good chat?
What did you tell him?
Only the truth, sister. Only the truth. I think we should dance.
No. You're hurting me.
Oh, now there's a switch. How does it feel?
I thought he might have liked me. I mean, really liked me. And he didn't know anything until you told him.
Well, sister, looks like we both are about to have no place to go. Maybe we should go there together. Why don't we go down to the river and do what we used to do? Remember?
Stop it.
What difference will one more time make? It's all the same to you, isn't it?
Yes. Empty.
Time's up, sister. You're facing this alone.
You could have anyone, but you had to have Tucker. My husband. Oh, I hope you pay for it. I hope you pay.
I've been paying my whole life.
Somebody get that phone. Somebody get that phone. I cannot believe somebody would be rude enough to call at this time on Sunday morning. They should have the decency to at least say we're on our way to church. Hello? Trubane residents, this had better be important because my bacon's just sucking up grease while we talk. Who? Who? Hold on a second, I'll get her. Cola? Cola McGee? Constance Elizabeth McGee?
You mean to tell me that you just stood there and let it happen? You didn't do anything?
But what could we do? It was the truth.
The truth doesn't give anyone the right to be cruel.
It wasn't like that. It just happened. There wasn't anything to do. I think it's time that Sister made her own way now.
You can't just throw her out, not like that, Mama.
You don't understand, Tigret, honey. She's ruining this family.
She's your daughter.
And so are you. But I can't be responsible for her choices anymore. You'll understand one day.
I don't believe so.
Pagan! Tigret! I have an announcement to make.
An announcement?
An announcement of great social importance to this one cab community. May I present Miss Constance Elizabeth McGee, bride-to-be.
Well, don't just stand there. How do I look? I mean, I haven't changed that much in the last 10 years.
Cola, you must have knocked something loose yesterday.
Well, that's just it. It's all because of that wonderful fight at Sproggins.
Tell him about the phone call, Cola, the phone call.
Word got back to Morgan Calloway, and he up and called me this morning. He said that because of my heroic behavior, he made a mistake leaving me at the altar the way he did 10 years ago, and he was sorry. Anybody who could whip up a Molly Beasley the way I did was good enough for him.
You're marrying Morgan Calloway?
Yep, I'm meeting him at the Greyhound bus station in less than an hour. We're getting married right there, and then it's off to Nashville and the Grand Ole Opry for the honeymoon.
But I thought you said his brain was permanently damaged.
That's just what they mean when they say for better, for worse, honey. 10 years of love are bottled up inside of me, and it's time to let it out. Come on, Juicy, I'm getting married.
She's getting married.
Cola, I think we should talk about this.
I know it seems ridiculous, me marrying the man that for 10 years I wish would be run over by a tractor, but, well, not too many of us get a second chance at anything, especially someone like me, and especially in love. Be happy for me, Pagan. I'm getting a second chance. Let it go, Juicy! Be happy for me, Pagan. I'm getting what I always wanted. I'm getting married! Yeehaw!
Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master,
grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. It is in dying that we are born into eternal life.
Who does she think she is?
Sister,
Daddy.
what are you trying to do? Wasn't last night enough?
Listen to me, little man. Deacon. Get back to your expensive pew, or I will tell this whole congregation the truth about you and your perfect little family.
You're not serious.
I mean it, Daddy. I got nothing left to lose.
Get her out of here. She has no right to be in here. Sit down.
Mrs. Carter. Sister, I think it would be best if we did this some other time.
No. I don't think it's necessary that we do this at all.
How clean does she have to be to get saved?
Sister, I need to apologize for last night.
Tiger detailed our little adventure into religion at the church this morning, didn't she?
I was drunk.
I apologize for everything I did while I was drunk. It's been my whole life begging. Besides, you're no good at pity. Except possibly for yourself.
I didn't mean all those things.
No, I'm sure you did. What do you want from me? An absolution? You're the preacher. Absolve yourself. Then get out.
Sister,
Get out!
Where's that liquor, sister?
Why, Pagan, don't tell me you've fallen off the holiness wagon.
I'm not falling off, I'm jumping off with both feet planted squarely on the ground. Nothing used to bother me, sister. Nothing could stop me. Until now, I've been stopped.
If you're quite finished with me, I think I'll go for a walk outside.
Yes, I'm almost finished with you. I'm just about through with you.
Don't tell me this is all over Tuckahoe.
And how many others, sister? How many others?
I lost track of that years ago. But after the first time, the others don't seem to matter as much. But you remember that, don't you, Mama? My first time?
I will not be involved in your filth. I'll have your father handle this.
But you're already involved. And as for Daddy, we both know he's done his share.
I think if we're going to be discussing Daddy, he at least ought to be around to defend himself.
Terrific. We're all here now. Because I have a story to tell. You see, once upon a time, there was a pretty young queen who, coincidentally, looked a lot like Pagan here. And there was a king who, well, surprise again, happened to look just like Daddy. Then there was a beautiful young princess who, being so beautiful, naturally resembled me. But you see, the queen was put out with the king because she found out that he just married her for her castle.
I don't like this.
Oh, but it gets better. In order to get revenge, the queen locked the king out of her sacred chamber. So he just went elsewhere for his pleasures. And the queen didn't mind because she had the beautiful princess. So one night, he crept up to her room and he killed her.
That's ridiculous.
You're right. He didn't kill her. Not completely. He just took something from her so that no one else would ever want her anymore. Not even the queen. So they locked her away.
How can you talk about lies? You're the one who's been lying around.
No, Coffin. I learned from the best. I watched you live a lie from the beginning. Daddy? Sister?
You're not staying under this roof any longer.
I guess it is your roof, isn't it? You married for it and you raped your daughter under it.
That's not true. Pagan, tell them that's not true. Pagan, tell them she's lying. Listen to me. Tell them it's not true. Tell them! I can't believe that you're my daughter. You really think I'll let you ruin me? You are so sickening. Look at yourself. You're nothing but a washed-up old whore. Yeah.
You shouldn't bite off more than you can chew, Coffin. You might choke on it.
Leaving, sister? Without anything.
No! Help me!
How does it feel, sister, for everyone to see what you're really like?
Please give it back to me.
Stop it,
Please.
Coffin. Please? Did I hear you say please? This is a red letter day.
Don't do this to her. Please, give it to her.
Stop! Oh, stop it. Oh, sister, I love you. I love you. You ruined her because I loved her. Well, I got you back. I've been paying you back for 25 years. The only thing you ever wanted was a son, and I took that away from you.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you had a son, all right.
And I'm the one who died the moment he was taken from my arms. But I wasn't going to let him turn out like you. I wanted more for him than that. So that's what I did. I lost him.
I ought to kill you. You've ruined everything for me.
Then you know how it feels.
Get out of my way, boy.
I'm not a boy, regardless of what you may think.
He's turned out to be more of a man than you ever were, Coffin.
Ooh, you're not hurting anyone else.
What will you do?
I don't know. There's gotta be something better than this.
And our end is our beginning, right? I remember myself leaving the American South with a grand exit. But looking back, as I drove away that day, I knew that what I was really making was a grand entrance.
have you said I love you? How many times have you said I'll be true? And how many wonderful sweeties have you told that to? And how many times has a certain feeling troubled you so that you hit the ceiling? How many hands have you held all alone? How many lips have you pressed to your own? Now I'd hate to think that you kissed too many, but I'd feel worse if you hadn't kissed any. Please tell me how many times.
That'll teach him to mess with Deuce Bates.